Happy International Women's Day. Hey, thank you. Coco, thank you for being a woman that...
Every hater with one award, and the tennis world is spiraling. Welcome back to Chatterbox, where we serve the hottest takes hotter than a Coco Gauff ace down the tee line. If you thought the tennis offseason would be quiet, think again. The internet just experienced a Category 5 meltdown, and at the center of the storm stands a 21-year-old American champion with a trophy in one hand and her haters' tears in the other. Coco Gauff just won an award. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. The reaction has been nothing short of apocalyptic. Twitter fingers have been working overtime, Reddit threads have devolved into chaos, and suddenly everyone's a WTA expert with opinions on award criteria they didn't even know existed 48 hours ago. The drama is so thick you could cut it with a tennis racket, and honestly, we're here for every single second of it. Today we're unpacking the complete insanity surrounding Coco's latest victory, exposing the mathematical gymnastics her critics are performing to discredit her achievements, revealing some shocking double standards that frankly should embarrass the people perpetuating them, and dropping some bombshell updates about her personal life that'll restore your faith in young love. Oh, and there's a wild pickleball twist that nobody saw coming. Buckle up, because this ride gets bumpy. The receipts are printed on premium cardstock, and we're not holding anything back. Let's rewind to where this all began. The WTA recently announced their 2025 season awards, the annual celebration where the organization recognizes excellence both on and off the court. Usually, these announcements generate polite applause, a few congratulatory Instagram stories, and everyone moves on with their lives. Player of the Year goes to whoever dominated the rankings. Most Improved goes to the breakout star. Sportsmanship goes to whoever didn't smash too many rackets. Standard procedure, minimal controversy. Then came the Jerry Diamond Aces Award announcement. The winner? Coco Gauff. And the internet lost its collective mind. Within minutes, the comment sections transformed into digital war zones. The takes were flying faster than serves at Wimbledon, and they were just as aggressive. People who probably haven't watched a complete tennis match since Serena's retirement suddenly became award criteria experts, dissecting every possible reason why Coco shouldn't have won. The energy was unhinged, the vitriol was palpable, and the hypocrisy was absolutely breathtaking. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The overwhelming majority of people losing their minds over this award have absolutely no idea what the Jerry Diamond Aces Award actually recognizes. They see Coco's name attached to any form of recognition, and their critical thinking skills immediately exit the building. It's like watching someone rage about the Nobel Peace Prize criteria without understanding it's not awarded for scientific achievement. The ignorance would be funny if it weren't so aggressively loud. So let's educate these suddenly passionate tennis enthusiasts about what they're actually upset about. The Jerry Diamond Aces Award, established in 1995 to honor the former WTA CEO who helped professionalize women's tennis, isn't about who hit the most winners or served the fastest. Despite having aces in the name, this award has nothing to do with service statistics. This recognition specifically honors the player who best promotes and represents women's tennis to the broader world. We're talking about the complete package of ambassadorship, media engagement, community outreach, fan interaction, and growing the sport's visibility beyond the baseline. This is the award for the player who understands that professional tennis isn't just about winning matches. It's entertainment, it's business, it's cultural impact. It's about the player willing to do the 100th interview when they're exhausted, who signs autographs until security literally makes them leave, who speaks thoughtfully about issues bigger than tennis when given the platform, and who genuinely connects with fans across demographics and generations. Now, with that context firmly established, ask yourself a simple question. Who in women's tennis right now fits that description better than Coco Gauff? Who's the first player tournament organizers call when they need someone for promotional events? Who consistently draws the biggest crowds regardless of what court they're scheduled on? Who has brought an entirely new, younger, more diverse audience to a sport that desperately needed demographic expansion? Who handles tough questions about social justice, mental health, and the future of tennis with the poise of someone twice her age? Let's look at the award's history for additional context. Previous winners include Angelique Kerber, a beloved champion known for her professionalism and grace. Alina Svitolina won it for her incredible humanitarian work supporting Ukraine while competing at the highest level. Just last year, Aryna Sabalenka took home the trophy after a season where she opened up about mental health and became one of the sport's most engaging personalities. Here's the million-dollar question that exposes the entire farce of this controversy. When Sabalenka won this exact award 12 months ago, where was the outrage? Where were the Reddit conspiracy threads? Where were the angry tweets demanding recounts and investigations? They didn't exist because the criticism isn't actually about the award criteria. It's about who won it. The selective outrage is so transparent, it's almost insulting. When certain players win recognition for off-court contributions, it's celebrated as appropriate acknowledgement of their complete excellence. When Coco wins the same recognition for the same contributions, suddenly the criteria is flawed, the process is corrupt, and it's all just political theater. The inconsistency isn't just noticeable, it's deafening. It reveals that for a vocal segment of the tennis community, Coco Gauff exists in a no-win scenario. If she wins matches, it's lucky draws or weak competition. If she loses matches, she's exposed as overrated. If she wins awards recognizing her character and work ethic, the entire system must be rigged. Make it make sense, because from where we're sitting, the only consistent thread is that some people simply cannot handle Coco's success. Now let's address the other major criticism that's been weaponized against Coco all year long. The narrative that her 2025 season was somehow disappointing or constituted a flop has been pushed so aggressively you'd think she spent the year losing in qualifying rounds. The haters have been working overtime to paint her year as a disaster, desperately willing it into existence through sheer repetition. Let's examine this supposed catastrophic failure with actual facts and numbers instead of feelings and hot takes. Coco Gauff's 2025 season by the objective numbers. Final ranking? World number 3. Not 300, not 30, but 3. As in, only 2 players on planet Earth had better years. Grand Slam titles? 2, including her second Roland Garros championship. WTA 1000 titles? 3, including an absolutely dominant performance in Wuhan, where she dismantled the competition. Total prize money? Nearly $8 million. Win-loss record? 48 victories against just 16 losses, which is a 75% win rate at the highest level of professional tennis. So let's pause for a reality check. In what bizarre alternate universe does earning $8 million while winning multiple premier titles and maintaining a top 3 world ranking constitute a bad year? If that's failure, then please sign me up for that kind of failure immediately. I will gladly accept that disaster of a season and all the suffering that comes with depositing those checks. The cognitive dissonance required to frame that resume as disappointing is genuinely impressive from a mental gymnastics standpoint. The flop era narrative started early and aggressively. Remember the beginning of 2025? Coco lost in the Australian Open quarterfinals to a player having the tournament of her life. Then came a rough stretch with early exits in Qatar, Dubai, Indian Wells, and Miami. The vultures didn't just circle, they started planning the funeral. Hot take artists were writing eulogies for her career. The think pieces were flying. She peaked too early at the US Open. The tour has figured out her game. It's over before it really began. The schadenfreude was palpable, the glee barely concealed. And what was Coco's response to this adversity? Did she panic and blow up her entire team like some players do after a bad month? Did she post cryptic Instagram stories about fake friends and haters? Did she take a mental health break that conveniently lasted until the next big payday? No. She put her head down, went to work, and let her racket do the talking. She hit the European clay court season ready to prove everyone wrong. Back-to-back finals appearances in Madrid and Rome, 2 of the most prestigious tournaments outside the Grand Slams. Yes, she lost those finals to Sabalenka and Paolini, 2 players having career years. But reaching finals at that level requires beating multiple top players and sustaining excellence across 2 weeks of brutal competition. But even reaching those finals wasn't enough for the critics. The goalposts moved again. She can't close out big matches. She chokes under pressure. See, we were right to doubt her. But did the criticism stop? Did the doubters admit they were wrong? Of course not. The goalposts didn't just move, they teleported to a different continent. Suddenly the victory didn't count because her draw was supposedly easy, even though she beat 3 top 10 players. Her opponents were apparently all injured, even though they were healthy enough to reach the later rounds. The achievement was minimized, contextualized, and explained away with whatever rationalization allowed people to avoid admitting they'd been wrong. Then came the Asian swing after a summer that included some tough losses. Instead of letting those defeats define her season, Coco showed up in China ready to work. Semifinals at the China Open, battling through a tough draw and difficult conditions. Then the Wuhan Open, where she didn't just win, she dominated. She steamrolled through a field stacked with the world's best players, looking like the elite champion everyone claimed she wasn't. The trophy ceremony in Wuhan should have been a victory lap, vindication for the doubters, a celebration of resilience and excellence. Instead, the conversation immediately shifted to next year's expectations and why her success was actually somehow still not impressive enough. So when people claim Coco only won the Aces award because of media bias or political correctness or whatever conspiracy theory is currently trending, they're deliberately ignoring the massive elephant in the room. She's not just a great ambassador for tennis, she's also one of the 3 best players in the world. The Aces Award isn't a consolation prize for someone who couldn't cut it on court. It's an additional recognition on top of her elite playing credentials. She's the complete package, the total deal, the full menu. Elite talent plus elite character plus elite professionalism. That combination is rare, it's valuable, and it deserves recognition. The award isn't controversial. The problem is that some people are simply incapable of giving Coco credit for anything, and that says way more about them than it does about her. We need to have an uncomfortable but absolutely necessary conversation about why the backlash against Coco is so uniquely visceral compared to her peers. Why does her success trigger such disproportionate negative reactions? Why is the criticism of her so personal, so aggressive, so relentless? The answer requires acknowledging some ugly truths about persistent biases in tennis and sports media. There is an undeniable element of racism and misogynoir in how Coco Gauff is covered and criticized. This isn't speculation or playing the race card or whatever dismissive phrase people use to avoid uncomfortable conversations. It's pattern recognition based on documented, repeatable differences in how she's treated compared to white players with similar profiles. Look at the language deployed. When other players show emotion on court, they are passionate or fierce competitors, or wearing their hearts on their sleeves. When Coco shows the exact same emotions, she's described as aggressive, entitled, or having an attitude problem. When other players go through rough patches, they're working through adversity, or human beings having normal struggles. When Coco has a slump, she's exposed as fraudulent, or proof she was always overrated. The double standard extends to everything. Other players can have coaching changes without it being evidence of character flaws. Coco changes coaches, and suddenly it's proof she's difficult to work with. Other players can lose early in tournaments, and it's just part of the sport's competitive nature. Coco loses early, and it's definitive evidence the hype was always manufactured. The scrutiny isn't just intense, it's asymmetrical, and it follows a depressingly predictable pattern. Perhaps most insidiously, there's the constant, suffocating pressure to compare her to Serena Williams. Every young black woman who picks up a tennis racket gets immediately compared to one of the greatest athletes in human history, as if that's a reasonable or fair standard. It's lazy, it's reductive, and it's incredibly disrespectful to both Serena's unique greatness and Coco's individual journey. Coco is not Serena, she's not trying to be Serena, she's Coco Gauff, carving her own path with her own style, her own personality, her own strengths and weaknesses. But because she hasn't won 23 Grand Slams by age 21, some people act like she's failing to live up to some imaginary obligation she never asked for. The Aces Award controversy is a perfect microcosm of these dynamics. The award explicitly recognizes ambassadorship and representation. Coco represents demographics that have historically been excluded from country club sports. She brings in young fans who see themselves in her. She brings in black and brown fans who finally have a champion who looks like them. She brings in a generation that doesn't care about tennis's stuffy traditions and exclusionary history. She makes the sport feel accessible, modern, and relevant to people who previously had no connection to it. And frankly, that terrifies the traditionalists. They see the sport changing. They see the fan base diversifying. They see the culture shifting toward inclusion and away from the elitist gatekeeping that previously defined tennis's image. And instead of celebrating this growth, instead of recognizing that expansion is essential for the sport's long-term health, they lash out. They hide behind carefully selected statistics and concerns about fairness and merit, but the underlying anxiety is transparent. They're watching their sport evolve beyond their comfort zone, and they're mad about it. The Jerry Diamond Aces Award is voted on by tournament directors, WTA staff, and media members who actually work in professional tennis. These are people who see what happens behind the scenes. They see which players show up early for promotional events and which ones phone it in. They see who stays late signing autographs and who rushes out the back exit. They see who handles media obligations with grace and who treats them like burdens. They know the truth about who actually does the work to grow women's tennis. The internet trolls screaming about the award don't have that perspective. They have hot takes and bias and too much free time. The people who actually understand what the award represents voted for Coco because she earned it through years of consistent excellence in exactly what the award measures. To the haters living in their alternate reality where she's somehow undeserving, there's only one appropriate response. Stay mad. Coco will stay winning. History will remember who actually grew the game and who just complained about it in anonymous comment sections. Let's pivot to something a bit lighter, but absolutely wild. We have drama crossing over from the tennis world into the unexpected realm of pickleball. And yes, you read that correctly. This isn't a fever dream. Jalen is an artist and musician based in Atlanta. He's not a tennis player. He's not a professional athlete. He's not trying to leverage her fame for his career. He's a creative working in a completely different world, which according to Coco herself, is exactly what she needs. She's mentioned in interviews that having someone who doesn't care about breakpoints, rankings, or tournament draws helps her maintain perspective. When the pressure of professional tennis becomes overwhelming, when the criticism gets loud, when the expectations feel suffocating, she has someone in her life who sees her as just Coco, not Coco Gauff, the tennis champion with all the accompanying baggage. This week, Jalen posted a photo dump on Instagram documenting his year. It was very artsy, very thoughtfully curated, very much in his creative aesthetic. Among the images were some genuinely adorable shots with Coco, candid moments that captured them just being a normal young couple enjoying each other's company. He captioned the post with a simple message about gratitude and reflection. And Coco's reaction? She didn't have her publicist draft some carefully worded statement. She didn't wait to respond at some strategic PR optimal moment. She immediately jumped into the comments with a heartfelt message expressing how grateful she was right back at him. It wasn't performative. It wasn't for the cameras. It was just genuine, authentic support between two people who clearly care deeply about each other. It's a small thing in the grand scheme of world events, but it matters tremendously in Coco's world specifically. In an environment where every single move she makes gets scrutinized, criticized, and weaponized against her, having a solid, supportive, drama-free relationship provides an anchor of normalcy and stability. The critics love to say she's distracted by off-court relationships or business ventures or whatever excuse they need to diminish her accomplishments. But look at the actual results. A happy, supported, emotionally healthy player is a dangerous player. It's also worth noting how remarkably classy they both are about the relationship. There's no drama. There's no manufactured social media controversy. There are no cryptic posts about relationship problems for attention. Just two young people supporting each other's dreams and ambitions. Jalen pursuing his music and art, Coco pursuing global tennis domination, both of them showing up for each other without making it a spectacle. That's the kind of relationship dynamic you love to see, especially given how young they both are and how much external pressure exists in her life. So what's next for our newly crowned Aces Award winner? The 2025 season is officially in the books. The trophies are polished and displayed. The prize money is deposited and invested. The critics have been thoroughly defeated. Now all eyes turn toward 2026 and what promises to be another spectacular year. Coco isn't resting on her considerable laurels. She's already deep into preparation for the Australian summer swing, which kicks off the new tennis season every January. First up on her schedule is the United Cup, the mixed team event that serves as the unofficial opening act before the Australian Open. Coco will be leading Team USA alongside ADP star Taylor Fritz, reprising their partnership from last year. Remember last year's United Cup? They were absolutely electric together. The on-court chemistry was undeniable, the banter kept everyone entertained, and most importantly, they won matches against top competition. They're looking to run it back this year and bring the championship trophy back to the United States. The team format is perfect preparation because it allows her to shake off the off-season rust in a slightly lower pressure environment before the intensity ratchets up to Grand Slam levels. And then comes the big one, the Australian Open, the first major championship of 2026, where Coco has some serious unfinished business. Last year's quarterfinal exit still stings. She knows she's capable of winning on hard courts. She's proven it by winning the US Open and dominating in Wuhan. The Australian Open represents the next logical conquest in her quest for complete dominance across all surfaces and all major championships. The haters are already busy typing their predictions in the comments sections of every tennis website. She'll lose early because she always disappoints. She's too distracted by her relationship and off-court commitments. The pressure will get to her. Let them type. Let them waste their energy on negativity and doubt. While they're busy being keyboard warriors, Coco is in the gym at 6 a.m. She's on the practice court working on that serve that already improved dramatically this year. She's studying film with her coaches. She's refining her forehand mechanics. She's preparing mentally for the battles ahead. She's doing the actual work while they're just talking. She enters 2026 as the world number 3, a multiple Grand Slam champion with 2 major titles already, and now the officially recognized premier ambassador of women's tennis. That's a powerful combination of credentials, accomplishments, and momentum. The hunger is still there. The drive hasn't diminished. If anything, all the criticism and doubt probably just added more fuel to a fire that was already burning intensely. Let's bring this all home. The headlines this week have been absolutely wild. People are angry about things they don't understand. People are confused about basic facts. People have loud opinions about award criteria they learned about 5 minutes ago. The noise has been deafening. The takes have been blazing hot, and the ratio of heat to light has been astronomically skewed toward heat. But here's the truth that cuts through all the noise, all the controversy, all the manufactured drama. Coco Gauff is the face of women's tennis right now. Not a face. The face. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with the awards committee. You can write all the angry Reddit posts you want. But you absolutely cannot deny the impact she's having on the sport and its culture. She's winning matches against the best players in the world. She's winning hearts by being authentic and relatable. She's changing the culture of tennis by bringing in new fans who never cared about the sport before. She's breaking down barriers that have existed for generations. She's showing young black girls that they belong in spaces that previously excluded them. She's proving that excellence and character aren't mutually exclusive. She's demonstrating that you can be great at your job while also being a genuinely good person. That combination is rare in professional sports. It's valuable beyond measure, and it deserves recognition. The Jerry Diamond Aces Award wasn't a gift. It wasn't charity. It wasn't political correctness. It was a receipt. A receipt for all the early morning promotional appearances. A receipt for staying late to sign autographs until security literally had to escort her out. A receipt for handling tough questions with grace when she could have given throwaway answers. A receipt for showing up consistently, professionally, and enthusiastically to grow a sport that desperately needed the energy she brings. It was the tennis world saying collectively, "We see you, we value you, and we appreciate everything you do beyond just hitting tennis balls." To the fans who have supported her through everything, keep that energy going. The noise from the haters is loud, but the love from real fans is louder. Your support matters more than you realize. To the haters who seem personally offended by her success, keep doubting her. Seriously, at this point, you're basically volunteer motivational coaches. Every criticism just makes her work harder, focus more intensely, and come back stronger. You're doing her a favor without realizing it. And to Eugenie Bouchard, we would absolutely pay good money to see that hypothetical pickleball match. Just saying. Make it happen for charity or something. The content would be incredible. Now I want to hear from you. the Chatterbox community. Do you think Coco deserved the Aces award, or is there actually a legitimate argument against her winning it? Are the haters just jealous of her success and struggling with their own biases? Or do they have valid points we're missing? And seriously, would you actually watch if Coco decided to play professional pickleball for one tournament just to prove she could dominate another sport? How entertaining would that be on a scale of 1 to 10? Sound off in the comments below. Don't hold back. Let's get a real conversation going. Bring your hot takes, bring your receipts, bring your unpopular opinions. This is a safe space for tennis talk, whether you're Team Coco or Team Chaos. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the drama and want to stay updated on every serve, every volley, every scandal, and every heartwarming moment in the tennis world, do me a huge favor right now. Smash that like button like Coco smashes an overhead winner. Absolutely destroy it. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss when we spill the tea on the latest tennis drama. Turn on those notifications so you're first to know when we drop new content. Trust me, with how chaotic the tennis world has been lately, you don't want to miss a single episode. I'm your host, signing off for now. Stay petty, stay passionate, stay informed, and most importantly, stay ready for whatever drama the tennis world throws at us next. I'll catch you in the next one, where we'll probably be discussing whatever controversy erupts next week, because this sport never lets us rest.